And it's 4 megahertz versus 1 point something?
Yeah. You can also tell it's QC plus by the return key. You'll see that it's L-shaped.
Oh, yeah.
On the regular
John
QC.
Scully spoke about that on the video we saw.
Ooh, drop that name. Should I pick it up?
There he goes.
Oh, drop the
name? I don't remember that he said it.
No, you impressed me.
Good memory.
Because we watched the video from, what was it, Apple Fest? 88. Yeah, when it came out, 88.
Oh, did I mention that David met him?
No.
No, but David mentioned it.
Look, that's the end of the show. That can't be right.
Yes, it is. I'm done with this.
That's too short. 33 minutes.
Dude, I want to play. There's no news, and I want to play Star Saga.
I feel guilty
It must
now.
be the distance.
Oh wait,
us.
oh wait. The last thing we're gonna do is maybe we
Same.
can take a couple of questions
Yeah.
from the audience, and then we'll wrap it up.
I don't care.
Yeah, any questions? Okay, that's it. And, no, I'm just kidding. Who's got questions?
Suggestions,
Yeah, suggestions. Stop now. Other than that.
constructive criticism,
Well, it doesn't seem like a question of whether.
insults, jokes. No questions, anybody? Oh, can't gag me.
Ken's
Hi.
rescuing us.
So you have your own Twitter account, the podcast does, in addition to your 3 individual podcast accounts.
Right.
What about, well, first of all, 2 questions. One, why should we follow the podcast instead of each of you individually? Which one do you suggest? Do we follow the 3 of you
Both.
or the one show? Both?
Absolutely both.
What's the difference? Why?
I think on our individual ones, David, did you have something to add?
No, please. No, seriously. Go ahead, bro. I'll
I
jump
didn't mean
in.
to cut you off. I think that we get things from different perspectives, whereas things that you're going to read about from the RCR podcast feed or that Twitter account will be specifically related to the RCR podcast.
Who's behind the Twitter account for the show?
David.
And so I try to make it just specifically RCR related. Now in the case of, while we've been at KansasFest, I've been kind of going back and forth and retweeting a little bit from mostly me and Earl. If we tweet something Kansas related, then retweeted it over to RCR and vice versa. But normally, the only things you're going to see come across the RCR podcast Twitter is specifically about the show. And then we have our own.
Yeah, my Twitter account personally is just for rambling, whatever. Like I wouldn't have anything.
What he has for lunch and that kind of thing.
Well, I just looked at it. Like I say things like, "You ever get the feeling you've forgotten something obvious when decorating?" It hit me when I looked around my apartment this morning. Ball pit. That's the kind of thing that I tweet, right? So it's not necessarily anything to do with
It's a
it.
tough call though. That's been sort of a challenge. Like, oh, where do I kind of, so Earl hit it right on the head. That was pretty much the way I've been trying to operate it.
And whose perspective do we get on the RCR blog?
Me.
That's what
I
I
got
was
suckered
scared
into doing it.
So
Mostly
far,
it's been
Karen
100% me. Earl and David say, we should have a blog. And I was like, yeah, I want a blog. I'm like, I don't know. We call that to work. They're like, no, we definitely want a blog. And he was like, well, I don't know if I want to, we definitely want a blog. Earl's like, yeah, I'm going to blog. You can start one. I'm like, okay. Who's walking? I want a dog. Who's walking the dog? The parent who said he didn't
And he's feeding the dog, and he's cleaning up after the dog.
I feel obligated to his blog. Yeah.
But he does such a good job at it.
We've split up the
Screw you all.
duties. So for instance, Earl handles most of the replying to email to RCR, our feedback at rcrpodcast.com.
So we break up.
Kind of,
We break up the.
So we did recently, I did post on, if you guys haven't seen it, it's at rcrpodcast.com. And the posts we have are mostly, I try to link into something interesting that might not make the show. And I'd forgotten that the last one was those core memory videos. So they're from the U.S. Department of Defense in 1962. And they discuss how memory works in a computer and that sort of thing. And they're really interesting training videos for the Army on computer operations. They're fantastic, they're vintage, they're really, really interesting. So that would be something worth checking. You can see the links on RCR podcast.
And so, to say this out loud, a job for me then too is to be more aware of when you do this so I can tweet about it. So I can tweet it out on, so you need to let me know.
Be more aware. And subscribe to the blog.
It's your fault, I'm not aware.
Or we could set it up where the blog automatically does a tweet.
I hate when blogs do that. If you've got it on the blog, don't tweet it as well. I disagree with both of you. I'm walking the dog.
All right.
And my last question is, have you considered having a Facebook page or Google Plus page for the show?
No, because you would have to keep it up.
No, we could probably split it up. We didn't have to do all the work.
Mm-hmm.
But what were your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Oh, we
I
should
have
say the
mixed
question,
feelings,
because
I'm not sure. I know,
Oh, yeah, that's
I mean, but
right.
I don't
We're
feel like I have
gonna-
the time to do that, so.
We're going to repeat the questions.
Oh.
Just what I'm talking about.
Ken's question was, have we considered setting up a Facebook or Google Plus page for the RCR podcast? One thing that I think might happen if we wind up using Google Hangout for doing our streaming and our interactive stuff while we're doing the
We'll be forced
podcast,
to do Google.
that may lend itself to doing the Google Plus.
Yeah, we want to start doing that.
Problem I have with
we mentioned
Facebook
it
is it's
here.
so easy to fall into the, oh, please like me, pity cries. And
Right.
I just don't do that stuff at all. Like a desperate need, oh, please like
You want me
me.
to stop?
Please.
And I'm not sure, with the Facebook, I'm not sure how much value that would add with the Google Plus. Integrating with the Google Hangout, I can see that getting a little bit more mileage.
So come over here, Ken, real quick. So what do you,
So we have here Ken Gagnon from the much maligned Open Apple podcast.
Mostly maligned by
we
us.
hate him, and we
Mostly
hate that
maligned by
podcast.
us. Ken, why do you mispronounce your last name? I'll open with a softball. Then I've got photos I'd like to discuss.
But I want you to answer to the questions you asked us. So what is your take on it from the perspective of Open Apple Podcast? Are you guys going to do that, or?
Open Apple did a listener survey back in January to ask what social media presences they wanted us to have. And it was pretty divided. There was no clear cut, yes, we definitely want this. They kind of said no to Facebook, kind of said yes to Twitter, and actually were quite positive about Google+. But then the question arose, who maintains it? Who walks the dog? And given limited resources, we would rather just focus on doing the podcast. I mean, we don't really have much of a blog component to our show. We do 2 posts a month, one with our episode and one with the eBay results. And that's almost it. We don't do news. We don't have a Twitter account where we retweet A2 Central or break news about our interviews that we feature. We just do the podcast, and we post links to our podcast everywhere monthly, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Well, Mike and I, between us, have at least 3 Twitter accounts, sometimes more. So we don't really feel the need to bifurcate our audience even more. We have 2 widgets on our sidebar. One says follow Mike, and it has links to his 4 social media presences, and one says follow Ken. And we figure having those individual personalities as opposed to a faceless group identity with the podcast is more humanizing.
That's probably a good idea. We ought to consider doing that.
Putting links on our site about how we should follow Ken, Mike.
Yes, actually.
I like that too.
But you think you could
It's more interesting than following me.
Let's just let them run the show.
Yeah,
You
in fact, could you guys just do the show for us? That'd be great.
Sure.
All right, well,
So here's
take
the-
care, you guys.
There's the,
The Open Retrocast.
so let's see, there's the RCR podcast, Twitter, and then here's mine. So for instance, okay, that's way too big. All right, anything else we want to talk about in that regard? I know, let's mention to everybody here and on the show itself that, so we're still discussing about maybe changing our format a little bit, or the time frame, how often we do it. I'm not going to go into details. But we're about streaming,
Yes.
and then having a forum, sort of like Twit-like, I guess, where people can ask questions and stuff, and we can maybe work that into the show a little bit. So we're still kind of working out those details. And
Hate to have a short show.
no, we're wrapping it up now.
I want to play Star Saga.
Well, we do have
What? Oh, no, that's going to be after.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
So
hey.
the people listening to the podcast, you have no idea what I was jumping into. and You lose.
I'll edit it out. So that is all for show 30. Thank you to our great
30
KansasFest
already?
audience. Yeah.
Wow, congrats, guys.
30 today.
And to all the people at home for listening and being a fan of our show, go to rcrpodcast.com for the discussed links and show notes, and email the show at feedback@rcrpodcast.com.
I love the feedback.
We would love to have, we need to start having more of that in the show. We would love to have your comments by way of audio too, to play on the show. And you can follow us on Twitter with the username RCR Podcast. We still need your help in spreading the word, so please tell someone else about the show. You can mention a discussion list on your blog or on Twitter. A quick review on iTunes is always appreciated too. So,
Remember, 1, 2, 3,
Retro Compute! a giveaway of my book here. So the combination book zine. And so I'm going to ask, kill that. I'll be a good citizen, save the whole, save the environment.
No, I did have one quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
That wasn't worth airing. Am I the only person who has submitted audio feedback to your show? Like, you played my message.
Well,
There was one.
technically, the guy who, I can't think of his name, we're not on the air anyway. So the guy who made the Ignition little board, he, so he answered some questions of mine, so he submitted that.
Oh, right, I remember that.
But,
That was like an interview.
Which is a little different, yeah, because I turned it into like an interview.
But you didn't get anything from a listener.
I kind of want to say we did one at a time, but then again, what do you think?
I thought we had.
I want to promote, that's why I put it in this show, because I want to promote that. Have you guys thought of that, you want to get more of that sort of stuff?
So, you know, Ryan Sunaga used to do that on A2 Unplugged, and he got people using fake names and fake voices, and he played it. I don't know if he just could, you know, beggars can't be choosers or what, but we didn't want to put ourselves up to that. At the same time, I thought of doing something similar to you. We record our show on Skype. I thought of telling people, hey, we're going to be recording our next show Saturday at 9 p.m. Here are our handles, here are our screen names. You know, and we haven't done that because when we do the show live, and that almost feels like live if people are calling in, we
Yeah.
sound like idiots. You know, that's why we don't do a live show at KansasFest, because we want to have the opportunity to take it into the production room and edit it to make it sound
We
clean.
didn't sound like any more idiots than we normally do.
No, you didn't.
Unlike you guys, we don't mind sounding like
We
this.
still embrace it.
Yeah,
And
it's
not
part
a
of our.
high standard.
You know, maybe we will try it next year, doing a live show, I mean.
We
But-
definitely want to do, I mean, not having people, you know, on audio with us, but having some sort of a chat room or some sort of interactivity while we're doing the show live.
You know, there is the website that David found, where I gave a presentation at the demo party in Boston last month, and they recorded.
Yeah, that was cool.
They streamed my audio, so people could listen to it live while I was speaking, and there was a chat room that went along with it.
Cool.
Where people could type to each other about what they were listening to. The audio was captured. I can go back onto this website and listen to my presentation, but the chat room was also captured in real time.
Oh,
So
nice.
as I'm listening to myself, I'm seeing what people said when they
Yeah.
were listening.
Yeah, that was cool.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That would be
but,
good and bad.
I will find that website, but maybe you guys could stream your audio live through this website and have people chatting about it, and then have that captured.
I guess
One of the
we'll-
nice things about Google Hangouts is it does that built in as a feature. So you get the audio stream, video streams if you want them from the host. Everybody else only can participate in the chat area.
Oh.
And it does capture, but it won't save the video or audio stream. You'd have to be capturing that separately. But it does give you that built in if you wanted to. So it is an easy way to implement it. You guys want to do what we want.
I think we probably would need to let people know that what they type in the chat room is being captured for posterity.
Right.
So
Yeah, so
they're-
they're typing it, well, yeah. 'cause
I know,
it's-
you're
it's
typing it on the
expectations over
internet,
there.
but-
No, but it's not like that. I agree with that.
I don't think the people who were listening to my presentation knew that, because they were talking about me, and I was able to go back and see what they said about me. Unfortunately, for me anyway, it was nice things, like, oh, this sounds like a guy I'd have a beer with. But, you know, knowing the internet, I was surprised how cordial they were. But the website is scenesat.com, SCENESAT.com. And I know that they're looking for more retro computing podcasts in their lineup.
What is it again? SC?
SCENESAT.
Oh, yes, I have
SceneSat.
it from.
Scenario satellite.
One caution I'd advise you there.
Was it unmonitored?
There's been some other podcasts and other chat
Oh, I don't know.
room component of live streaming.
Right.
No, that's not a caution the host is not to start to chat room during the.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right.
But you can have
It's
a
very
lot.
distracting.
Well, I think one of us probably,
I'm honored to be here as a member of the Computing community.
It started playing.
Yeah, that's it.
You might have a conflict of interest to at the party to present.
Okay.
I was at party 2 years
Can I
ago.
chat about it? Who's this guy?
we probably should.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do a quick giveaway of the,
Oh,
Before I have another question.
and what we
oh,
decided was,
did you say you had, did somebody have another question?
sorry, someone.
No, Ken was saying you have to do it before he has another question.
Oh, okay.
I just had a little comment on the Hangouts. The Hangouts on air, it will save the video and audio to YouTube, and the comments will be presented, but the comments for the Hangout on air, like there's a chat in the Hangout, that doesn't get saved in the Hangout on air. What's on the Hangout on air is a YouTube comment. Like live YouTube comments that get saved, but it's YouTube comments.
Thank you for that. Caden's just trying.
I'm a distracted guy.
Hey, look, what, the first one has this thing. Is that right? Like a date?
Look,
Yeah.
it is.
What do you mean?
That's the date.
Oh, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go for, right?
Yep.
All right, so, who can be the first one to tell me the day?
The month.
Yeah, because that'd be too hard, the exact date. So the month and year of the very first Retro Computing Roundtable.
Dude, I can't even tell you.
Was it September of 2010?
No,
The first Russian computer?
no, the first time this show aired,
The
on
first,
month
the
and year.
month, the first time the retro.
So say it loud if you're, anybody?
Come on, guesses. Just wild
November
guesses.
2010.
2006.
No,
Okay, so,
April.
can I guess? I mean, I didn't research or anything, even though I heard the question
Yeah.
hours ago.
what is it, what do you think it is?
I think it was January 2000.
Okay, so no. So I'm gonna change the question.
Does it count if I just looked it up?
No, so I'm gonna change the question. Here's the next question is, what was the first Retro Computing Roundtable where the three of us came in as the co-host, full-time co-host? the three of us?
Episode 12.
Which one?
12.
No?
Episode 9.
No?
Tonight?
The next show.
Not episode 9.
Yep, 9. That was
Episode
9.
9?
Yep.
Were you not together on an earlier one?
Well, actually, so when I first started the show, it was me as the host, and I had a rotating panel, and 4 people, which wasn't bad. I think 3's better. But on that very first show, it was Bill Degnan, who's of March. The guy does VCF East with, I want to say Earl Evans, but with Evan Koblitz.
Evan Koblitz.
But
okay.
then
That
Carrington
always
and
tells me.
Earl were both on that very first show. But it wasn't until show 9 that just the 3 of us. So this is show 30, so we've all been co-hosts now for.
I wasn't on it until show 6, according to our website.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it says, good.
Yeah, then you're on show 8,
4
and then
crappy shows.
then you
that
came
I
back.
cleaned up.
Then you bailed us out.
So what? So 20. That's 21 shows. No, 22 shows.
It's a lot.
So we've done 22 shows together.
And we're still doing it.
So what was the answer to the first question?
Oh, October
Okay.
2010.
October 2010. So who answered 9? You won't tell me.
Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That's cool.
Like it's a book, nice.
I will. I'm just saying.
I'm taking food from your table, though. I was going to buy the book.
You don't have to now.
What are the two meanings?
Now you just give me the
of
cash. You don't have to buy the book.
iBook? What are the two meanings of iBook?
Well, one of them is like something you can get online. The other is a book about your eyes.
One of them is a G3,
Ah, okay.
What is it about iBook?
iBook.
What about it?
Well, people were talking about iBooks. The only iBook I knew was my iBook G3.
Oh.
Some people had
The
iBook
software
G4.
program, there's a program for the iPad and
Oh, great.
iPhone for reading. It's called
So
iBooks.
pretty good show, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I came in late. Are you considering axing the eBay segment? Is that?
No.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
No,
I
no,
enjoy
no, we
that.
did it.
I enjoy it, and especially when you delve into like Carrington's comments about well, in this model it's an L-shaped keyboard, and
We did discuss shortening
That's stuff
Carrington's
I love.
Just in general.
You always fight my comments, but I fight on. I had the magic.
No, I'm kidding, thanks.
Yeah, and
Continuation of the
Yeah, I think we're all
iBook
pretty, I think don't we get the most, of course, Earl takes most of the feedback now, but I think probably the comments about the eBay auctions are probably the most, always consistently positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great segment.
We've rarely ever.
I always felt like,
write in a negative comment. Of course we get
you suck, and your eBay,
The only constructive criticism I think we've got is the length of the show.
yeah. So
Oh,
we
yeah,
have got
it's too long.
some people think it's too long, I have noticed this other podcast though seems to be getting longer and longer.
What? What are you talking about?
It happens.
Spring or is it? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Guys, thanks for doing this here.
oh, thank
I've
you.
only been listening to you guys about a year and a half. Now I've got faces and names together.
We've lost another audience member.
Yeah.
Oh,
Another
Ken,
listen again.
So Ken, I gotta hear a copy.
Thank you for listening.
What do you need a copy of?
Oh, the video.
Sure.
So, you know,
Yep.
it'd be
Hey,
great.
give me my thumb drive back, I'll get you a copy of this too.
We did it.
You understand.
So you can do
Exactly. I think that proves I have great taste.